Hi guys, welcome back to the plot. So I'm doing another video just to keep the algorithm alive and that you know that I'm not leaving you. I might bring back, I know I said I'll bring them back in autumn, the videos, but I might just bring back like once a month or something for now, or a couple of months, just as an update. This is really to people just starting out on plots that are just getting their first allotment. Congratulations on getting your first plot. Exciting times ahead, and you see it's a jungle, and the first thing you want to do is clear a space and get something in. You see it a lot on the Facebook groups of people saying, oh, what can I plant now? And then they show a photo of a jungle of grass above your head. What I would suggest, I do apologise about the wind. If it's too bad, then we'll go into the polytunnel or something. What I would suggest is what you do is you get ready for next season. Spend that time actually planning out your plot, clearing the plot, getting as many weeds out as you can. Because what you'll find is you'll rush to get the plot ready and get something in. A couple of weeks later, you'll have the weeds growing again. So my advice for anyone that's got a new plot is just get it ready. If you're doing raised beds, get the raised beds in place, get the cardboard in the bottom, and really put thick layer of cardboard in the bottom. Don't just put one or two sheets in the bottom, because the harder weeds will get through that straight away. So the best thing is just to dig it over the area in the raised bed, get as many weeds out as possible, rake it over, make it nice, a nice base, a nice foundation for your raised bed. Put your cardboard on top, weight it down with some wood, bricks, depending on what sort of raised bed you're going for. You know, put old sticks at the bottom on top of the cardboard, you know, put a layer of it in, because that will turn into compost over time. And then just leave it over winter. Don't put your compost in. Just leave your compost in the bags if you've got composted bags or a compost heap. Just leave it. Cover the compost heap with some plastic or something to get that heat back in there, or keep the heat in the best you can. But just leave it over winter, and then when you come back in the spring, either the cardboard should be rotting away pretty rapidly at this point if you've left it from now. Put a fresh layer of cardboard down, fresh twigs, whatever, and then put your compost on, and away you go for that season. And the reason I say that is because if you rush now to make your plot, the chance by spring you'd want to change it around anyway, and then you just left there thinking, well, I've just wasted all that compost on the winter, because that's what you've done. There is some winter crops you can get in, but I really wouldn't stress about it. You've lived this long without an allotment, you can live this winter without one. You know, you made it through last winter, and that's probably going to be the most expensive winter we've had in a long time. I don't think bills are going to be as high this winter, but we'll see. But yeah, so leading by example, that's exactly what I'm doing. I didn't use all the beds this year. I do have crops in beds because obviously I had my allotment at the beginning, but this year I'm really planning my allotment. I'm planning what I want to do with it, make it my own. And I've literally just started digging out a patch that I'm going to put cardboard on, and I think I'm going to put flowers in there, but then could put the garlic in there or the onions in there. You know, this is the sort of planning process now for me. But what I will do is I will put a clip in here of the beds that I've prepared, and I'll probably put some footage in here of me preparing a few beds. I've got a lot of beds already covered in plastic from the beginning of last season that I thought I would uncover and dig over this season. The other thing, if you've got a vast majority of an area like this, That's my pumpkin patch at the bottom. There's an awful lot in there. Some huge pumpkins, courgettes. I think there's butternut squashes in there, but I'll find them when I find them. So this is my other half of the allotment, and I literally covered that this year completely. What I'm going to do next year is exactly what I'm saying. Put raised beds on there, but plan it out nicely. Materials for raised beds isn't cheap, so use this time just to save up some money, because starting an allotment isn't cheap unless you're going to use the ground. And in places I've in fact, all my crops apart from one crop is actually in the soil. If you've got good soil, you probably should be using the soil, to be fair. If it's clay and really hard to dig over, then it's probably a good idea to use raised beds. But if you do have good soil, there's nothing wrong with using it. Obviously you go on these groups and you say, oh, what should I do? And the first thing you see is raised beds, raised beds. It's not always the answer. The ground is very nutrient, and especially if it's been stood for a long time, like a good indication is thistles. If you've got thistles growing in it, it's quite nutrient. And your first year, just plant lots of potatoes. And then like you'll have different like parts of the soil that you can uncover and plant into once your early potatoes have done. But that's for next year, and we'll talk about that. Another tip that I found out for people that might not know is if you grow sweet corn, if you grow beans and you grow squashes, they're called the Three Sisters in America, because what they do is they use the same bed for all of them. They put in their sweet corn and their beans run up the sweet corn, so it's a natural stability for them to grow up. And then they plant the squashes at the bottom, because the beans put I think it's nitrogen back into the ground, and so it makes it nice. But what happens is with the squashes, it puts a canopy over, so it suppresses the weeds and keeps the moisture locked in. And apparently it's a really good combination. I'm going to try that next season. I didn't know that until yesterday. I watched a video, and it's a guy that lives out in the wild amongst like the Amish and Mennonites society. He isn't a part of them, but he's a Christian, but he isn't a part of any of those sort of communities. And it's a very interesting way of doing it. So next year, that's what I'm going to try. I'm going to do a really big patch of sweet corn. I've only done 6 lots this year, but I really like sweet corn, and if I can get it for the whole season, then that's what I'm going to do next year. I'm going to do a really big crop. So yeah, that's really what I wanted to say at this part. What I will do is I'll bring you back when I'm preparing some beds and show you what I'm actually doing. I've already done 3 already, so today, and I'm going to do more later on. I'm going to probably take away the plastic covered beds, all those, and dig them over and put cardboard on top, just ready for the winter and ready for it just to be ready to go. I unfortunately won't have the money to be buying compost for all raised beds, and a lot of these raised beds really need to come out, so I'm gonna have to probably find wood and stuff around if I can and bring it to the allotment. So yeah, I will come back to you later on, and I'll see you soon. Hi, so what I'm going to do is I am just going to take the plastic off the slabs, and I am going to do the preparation ready for next year with digging it over, putting the cardboard on and weighting it down with bricks. What I'll do is I'll show you some of that. I'll put some nice music over the top. Enjoy. See you in a mo. what I'm just doing now is raking it over to get the weeds that I missed that are on the top. I will have missed weeds underneath, but this will be dug over probably another 2 times before I plant anything in it. So, you know, you're not going to get every single weed, but you just have to try your best, get what you can, get it nice and flat to a flat sort of area. Now this, as you can see, this bed isn't great, as most of them on here are the same really. I need to redo them, but it gives you an outline of where to dig and where to plant, so it'll do until I get the wood to come and fix it in. So just keep picking out these little weeds, well, the roots. And what I'll do now is I'll just cover it over with cardboard, weight it down with a couple of bricks, and then either have a look under there later on, just before the end of autumn, and maybe give it another dig over, and then in the spring do the same again. As I said, make sure you get plenty of cardboard on it. Don't just do one layer. Make sure you put a few layers on. And what I'll do is I'll measure this out and try and find the wood to redo it in spring. If not, it's not a big problem. It's still an area that's got kind of an area that's got a guideline. So what I'll do is I'll finish it off in a bit. I'll get those areas covered. What I might do is I might make this just one bed and take the wood away, but we'll see. Let me just bring you so you can see me again. So yeah, these little fellas are everywhere in here because it had cardboard underneath. Don't lose them, put them back. And yeah, what I'll do is I'll leave this video here. I will continue down the other way. As you saw me uncover, all that will be done by the next video. Thank you for joining me. Please do like and subscribe if you haven't already. Really appreciate that. Until next time, stay safe everyone. Bye bye.